Please come along as well. I still...
Paimon can't believe it's Dia who wants to show us something this time. 2 days ago, we were the ones taking her to see Dunyarzad.
This is it.
Huh? This is a wooden training dummy. What about it?
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the result of several days' worth of practice. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked to pieces by now?
That's true, but what if they did?
Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training sessions. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the force, angle, and entry point of each strike is... It's just as they say. Each swordsman has their own unique...
Is it really impossible? What if they used some fancy machine to carve every single mark?
People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the former has no spirit to it. The same thing applies here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of combat training. Whew, I hope that cleared things up for you. Hey. Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Nilu's stage. See you later.
Well, back to square one. Is our memory deletion theory also wrong? But at least we've reached some other conclusions in the meantime. Yep, that's true. So, can we think of any new ideas right now? Strange? Paimon feels like everything's been strange lately. Huh? Leaving the city? You're right! It's really strange how we never thought of such a Paimon can't believe it! Did we miss this because we're tunnel visioning too hard on our other theories? Or because we're just too tired? How about we go back and ask Nahida? Maybe we've forgotten something about leaving the city. Early today. Did you find... Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at this... leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your plans to do that twice before. We did? But we don't remember anything. What happened? Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, it's probably more accurate to say that both times you never came back the whole night. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much about it. It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories. Yep, something here's definitely fishy. Let's get to the bottom of this tomorrow. Our memories are back! About that... Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have enough. Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days' worth of memories. Paimon will fill you in. It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay.
Why can't we leave the city?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand...
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Ormos. If I don't hurry, they'll be...
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced a lockdown for Sumeru City today. How completely unsurprising. Let's go and question them. Hello, sir. Why can't we leave the city today?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters into our own hands. Why don't we climb over the wall? This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But what if things get real... Oh, Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but we've always been together. Haven't we? Okay. Paimon will promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. And please. Memories! Traveler! Paimon would never see you again! Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back! You promised Paimon that you were only taking a quick look! Paimon, calm down. He's here now. Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day! Okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you did... Okay. Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what really happened yesterday? I see. Using two people's different perspectives. After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you... disappeared in an instant. No way! Paimon was watching you with... What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of this? I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city. Those days' memories can't be awoken. So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased? It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But how can we send it back? Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right? Give me some time and take care of Dunyarzad for me. Yep! I'm done. Here you go. What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal? I made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked it so that it could connect to any node. To make something like this? Nahida, You really know the... Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage when they're outside the city. We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking... Let's go then. Let's expose those sages. All right. Okay. See you That covers everything that's happened so far. Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when you were outside. Okay, now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the messages together.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru City space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable. And if we take... There's another part here. We only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now! Those spaces are actually...
Why did the message end right? Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment. Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha. The message. It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal. After the beep, Traveler said even the final space has also disappeared. Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be catastrophic? My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha. That doesn't sound right. I need to carefully think things through.
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sub-Zeru's festival, also disappears, and we're taken to the next day. Later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Do lots of new spaces appear every day? Paimon's head is spinning. Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret. Wow, the Archon War, huh? That's an analogy and a half. Hey!
Keep up!
want some alone time to think? All right then, Paimon won't disturb you.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up... You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Judging by the looks on your faces, are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival? Okay, first off...
The moon, illusions, and lies. The moon... People in Sumeru don't dream. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. A lack... Those spaces remind me of... dreams. Like the one I had in the Avidia Forest. Except these have no sign of human presence. We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival many times.
You're back! I've been waiting forever for... Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's... Okay.
Okay, Nahida said the Those spaces remind me of... That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't... That doesn't... I can't seem to cohesively piece everything together. We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream. But the truth is, the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when he was trying to describe them. Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, we're all in one big dream together right now. Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this? The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate. You're back! I've been waiting for... Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's... Okay.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. People in Sumeru don't... People in... The moon... Those spaces remind me of all the bizarre space. We are all in a dream.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, and those spaces with no So people in Sumeru... Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this? It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people. The Akasha relies on the power of a no... It compiles the wisdom...
That doesn't sound right.
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the Akasha has the ability to control people's dreams, too. But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom? Isn't there anything more to it than that? Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom. So, in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions, and the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord. The real story is that the sages from the Academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh? Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the Samsara?
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, many more those dreamscapes kept vanishing.
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream harvesting machine. Very good, Paimon. Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this dream doesn't do anything. All right, last question. Who am I?
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation.
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last. That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very beginning. It's funny, thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this. Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here. Can humans really keep dreaming forever like this? You might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Especially those whose health is... People's lives are at stake here! Deceiving the people of Sumeru with no After we end the Sub-Zero's festival, Samsara, we have to look into them. How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back? This In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone. A sun and a moon? Oh, we're out of time today! I'll tell you how to break free of the samsara tomorrow. See you then. Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything, should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanali? Hey! What's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good. I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct. Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way! Are we too late? The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting. Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad? Just what is she? Is she also going to disappear? She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream. So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just a building block of the dream that helps to keep it going. But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real Dunyarzad. Puppets are stiff and can't copy a living person's vitality. After all, you know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from a puppet. Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her. So you do remember her after all. Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. It was as if she only lived to stall her Elazar. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still... far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sabzeruz festival with so many regrets. Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the Sage's fault. I'm not beating myself up. All I did was to rationally observe the distance between myself and a real Archon. Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad. To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible. Great, but... Although the Sabzeruz festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akasha is unable to create them. That means this dream belongs to a host who created it. Huh? So... Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their consciousness. Which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream. Imagination? What do you mean by that? Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when the server at a tavern brings a plate to you, you'd naturally assume that food is on it. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine gold and more on the plate, the dream will respond in kind, and the server really will bring you gold and mora. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will always be food. Find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that happens, the person will... How are we going to find them, though? If it could be anyone, it'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack. And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're dreaming? After all, like you said, don't wake a sleepwalker. It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point has... As for me, during this time, I'll be out of town. Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the Traveler went? Yes. I want to try something. There must... Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary things like this samsara need to end. Paimon's still alive. She was such a good person, with such a simple wish. But fate was against... Yeah. Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole time. But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad would definitely want to see us save everyone else. So let's break the samsara for her sake. Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this stream? Feels like it would be easier to control it that way, no? Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't counting on there being other factors beyond their control, like Nahida and us. So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is a symbol of the whole Sub-Zero's festival, right? Let's go ask him some questions, shall we?
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine, just... it's a little hard to explain. Would you mind taking part in a little experiment with us?
An experiment? That came out of nowhere. I'm listening, though.
Could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new Sub-Zero's festival tradition or something?
Less questions, more wishing!
Okay. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud, but I want Miss Dunyarzad to be happy.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she wasn't really talking to anyone. She just doesn't seem like herself. I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm special to her, or something.
So, you have a crush on Dunyarzad?
Oh, is it that obvious? After what? When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, I want everyone to have a happy Sub-Zero's festival. What she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. 50 years? 100 years? I'll serve. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right moment to get it off my chest, but that was pretty embarrassing. Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh!
What?
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice try, you two. Anyway, never mind. I don't need to see her appear right in front of me. As long as she's happy.
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves her, but none of them has any idea that she...
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when Dunyarzad bumps into the kidnappers. Huh? But Dia can handle them. Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yannis pay me, not you. You... fine, alright? Anyway, watch yourself.
So you got yourself some backup. Suit yourself. You...
New hunting. I'll uproot you.
Think you can get away? Yahoo! Go.
Enshroud.
Motion to compel. Ha! Cha!
I'll be back.
Ha!
Who do you think you are? One with the forest.
Need more.
That's
You
close enough.
want this one?
Let's nip that in the bud.
Incinerate! Ha!
Cha. Ha. Ha. Can't see.
Let's play! Boom boom!
Log the jungle.
I'll uproot you. Oh, keep up.
Inadmissible evidence!
I'll be back.
Incinerate!
Cha.
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Dunyarzad wouldn't want to see you two like this. Oh, and speaking of her, Paimon just remembered something. Remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came here with Dunyarzad because she wanted to pick something up? She said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. Yeah, even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll probably still help us more than this needle in a haystack search. This is the place. It's rude to enter other people's spaces without... Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay, Paimon's gonna take a peek inside. This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing inside except this book on the table. Should we open it? Dunyarzad wrote all of this. Sounds like she was always thinking of us even while we were away. Even though she was also busy preparing for the Sub-Zero's festival. She must have wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the Sub-Zero's. If we hadn't found this book, we never would have known. But now that we know, we can't even thank her. Hey! Where are you off to now? It's Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about...
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, Traveler. What?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come... What? Where are we going this time?
If you continue to resist, we will have to order it. The Grand Sage has already...
How did they... Traveler?
Traveler.
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get arrested... Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course! If this is the Sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're...
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers.
Yes. The greater lord...
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras? just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice.
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the god?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are acting. Hey!
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host! What a surprise! Purple body Saras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Nilu?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sabzeruz festival?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point, as far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream, right?
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage?
Ooh, sounds familiar.
Yep, but in the part you heard, his piety and wisdom were acknowledged. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you? Have a safe journey, my love." In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City and founded the Academia. What a happy ending.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Yes, but his faith and determination...
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sabzeruz festival is almost over too. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sabzeruz as beautiful as we can. The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sabzeruz.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilu's dance.
Traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the... Paimon's head feels super heavy. Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. The Sub-Zero's festival! Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara? Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal! She's not in her room. What happened? Huh?
Keep up.
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare us like that!
Oh, a Traveler Paimon. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zeros.
Actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And... Dunyarzad, did you save her? It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the Traveler's favorite bench? Let's talk about Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that she's all right. After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the Traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the samsara. So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. And not a Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I need to spend more time observing human emotions. Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently. All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faith at the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the... You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world, and forget... Yeah! So you do know! We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria. It seems like the Traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable. A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from the Scarlet King. The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies. Okay, so... I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the Academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it. So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick! Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain. The Traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance at deciphering it. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's. Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory, Seeker. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. I think... Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the Sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero Samsara in the immediate future. Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us. What a relief. This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Traveler? Paimon?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know?
I see. Huh. I should...